Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hi there. This is Olusegun Oyekami of Nurse Capital, bringing you another SP 500 index review. Again, I'm starting off with the monthly chart, as can be seen. Right, we can see that there's been a long candle here. Now, I'm just using the Heiken Hashi candles just to be able to accentuate the trend, as you can see. So you can see all this nice green and red, so it shows you when it's bullish and when it's bearish. Anyway, as you can see here, the price range here, particularly the closing price, let's look at the closing price. The closing price is still under the Kijun-sen and indicating that there is bound to be some form of range expansion. Remember, when there's range expansion, there's also range contraction. What do I mean? This here, the red dots here, shows you a contraction, and here shows you an expansion. We are now contracting again, and we are bound to have an expansion. Secondly, we can see that the Chiku span is also caught up in between the price ranges here, or the price candles here. The price candles in some way could act as support, which means that instead of a fall of price, there should be a rise in price. Remember, this is still the monthly chart, and the month, always look at the higher time frames, because as I said before, the larger time frames set the overall trend. Right, let's move on quickly to the weekly chart and have a quick look at that. Here's your weekly chart. You can see that this is absolutely bearish. As you can see, the last candle, this last weekly candle, is directly under the cloud and under, of course, the Kijun-sen here. The Chiku is free, and therefore it is most likely to continue to fall based on what you see. This is just pure bearishness here, as you can see. Again, range contraction and now expansion, and that expansion is bringing about volatility to the low side, as you can see here. And so, as the weekly chart indicates that the mood here is bearish. So let's have a quick look at the daily chart. The daily chart also looks again it is bearish. Everything is under the cloud. However, there is some level of an upward movement here on the price range, but still under the Kijun-sen, as you can see. The Chiku is free, pointing upwards. That still doesn't really mean much, because as we've seen here, there's been a lot of range expansion on the downside here and now to the upside, but we're bound to have some range contraction, and that may lead to a further downside direction. We shall have to wait and see. As I said, no one really knows what can happen in the markets. You trade the markets in front of you. Right, let's bring it down to the hourly. We've got the 4-hourly chart, again also bearish. As you can see, everything is under the cloud. However, as we can see, with a little bit of bullish upside here, it's now above the Kijun-sen. Now, going above the Kijun-sen, this could also mean that the price could rise even further. Remember, the reversals come from the inside out. So let's go all the way down to the 1-hour chart very quickly. And the 1-hour chart tells us this is bullish. However, the Chiku span here is caught up between the clouds. That really doesn't mean much, but the clouds could also act as resistance, which means that the price could fall. As you can see here, the momentum is right at 0, and there might be the beginning of some contraction, as you can see with this red dot there. But remember, reversals come from the inside out. I will always say to you, all you guys trading out there, keep this chart open if you're going to be trading the SP 500 and see what will happen in the future. But as I've always said to you, when it comes to the markets, your guess is as good as mine. Keep your eyes and ears open, and you're trading sharp, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good weekend. Bye.